In this video, I'm going to be going over all the different duplication glitches in 1.2.0. I'll be showing you the different ways to duplicate weapons, shields, bows, and materials. I'll also be explaining how to do each of these glitches step by step along the way, and give any useful tips that I know of. I'll have the socials to all the people who found these glitches linked down in the description below, so make sure to go and check them out as well. The first one that I'll show you is hold storage duplication. This was discovered by Nango and Maz. There are three things that you're going to need for this glitch. First, you need a horse, then you need a ledge that's high enough to drop onto the horse, and you need a material that you want to duplicate. Select a material to throw with R and then up on the D-pad, and drop onto your horse while holding this item in the throw position. Open up your inventory in midair right before landing on the horse and select the item you want to duplicate, then hold as many of the item as you want to duplicate. If the hold option is grayed out, that means that you opened your inventory too late and the game thinks you're already in the process of mounting the horse. To fix this, simply pause earlier in the fall or find a higher ledge to drop off of so it's easier for you to pause before you land on the horse. Also, make sure not to aim at your horse with the item you're throwing, because as soon as you do this glitch, you will throw the item and risk hitting your horse with it, and the horse will buck you off, ruining the glitch. So again, hold any material in the throw position, drop off of a ledge, and right before you land on your horse, press pause. Once you're in your inventory, select the item that you want to duplicate and hold as many of it as you want to duplicate. Then press minus to go into your memories and watch one memory. You don't have to actually watch the memory, you can skip it. And once you're done with this, you're just going to press plus again to get back in your inventory and hold as much of the item that you want to dupe again. If you did it correctly, you'll hold your items and land on your horse, and there will be an oddly small fake bundle of the items that falls down to your side. Since I did gourmet truffles, mine looks like this, but this miniature bundle will be replaced with a miniature bundle of whatever you're trying to duplicate. Once you've done all of those steps correctly and have those results, then you're just going to open your material menu again and find the item you're duplicating, and you're going to start throwing them on the ground like this. This method is capped to duplicating 21 of the item you're trying to get, because 21 is the maximum amount of items that you can have rendered on the ground. Also, don't worry about the blood moon, it has nothing to do with the glitch, it was just a coincidence that I got a blood moon while I was in the middle of this. Continue to throw all of the material that you're duplicating onto the ground, and then once you get to 0 left of the material, you can actually continue throwing the material and make the amount in your inventory go down to a negative number equivalent to the amount you held during the glitch. This is because the game actually knows that you have 5 more of the items since you're holding them, so they count towards the number of materials you're able to throw. Once you've thrown all of the materials that you were holding, then they won't show up in your inventory anymore in the material menu. At this point, jump off of your horse, and you'll still be holding all of the items you chose to hold. Now you can drop these items onto the ground, and all the ones you were holding will be duplicated. I chose to do an item that I had 18 of so I could show you that you can only get 21 back because of the cap that the game has of items you can put on the ground. So I only got an extra 3 over what I started with, but I did duplicate 5. It's just that 2 of them disappeared because of that spawned item cap. Next, I'll show you how to duplicate weapons, shields, and bows. You need a like for this. I chose to go to the Gutumbok shrine because I figured everyone would have this one, and that's where I showed on the Great Sky Island. Once you're here, you're just going to head to your north and drop down. You'll see these roots going down off of this iceberg thing, and go into this cave. Here's where your like is. I would definitely recommend making a save before this one. To duplicate a weapon, you need an unfused shield and a sacrifice weapon that is also unfused. Then you need a fire and shock fruit, and preferably a weak bow so that you don't kill the like. So right now I have a tree branch as my sacrifice weapon, and then I have this spiked Boko shield that I'm going to fuse it onto, and a bow that does 12 damage. The timing of this is really precise, so I'll try to walk you through what to look out for. So first, drop your unfused shield. Make sure it's in range of the like and you're out of range. If the like doesn't want the shield, grab it with your ultra hand really quick and move it. Then swap to fuse and be in range of your shield. You're going to fuse your shield to your sacrifice weapon at a specific timing. So when the like targets it, you'll see that its bulb comes out, and this bulb is going to pulsate 4 times before it strikes. Right when it strikes your shield, you want to fuse. So 1, 2, 3, 4, strike, and you want to fuse right as it grabs your shield. After this, you're going to drop your sacrifice weapon, then swap to a fire or shock fruit, throw the fruit at the like, and then shoot it with a weak bow. If you fuse too late, then your shield is going to drop right out of the like's mouth under it, so you can just pick it up and drop it again and place it so that you're ready to try again. If you did it too early, then they'll fuse like normal and you'll just have to reload your save. So again, when shield's in range, swap to fuse, and fuse to your sacrifice weapon right as the like strikes. So 1, 2, 3, 4, fuse. Then you're going to drop your sacrifice weapon, pull out a fire fruit to throw, then shoot the bulb. And if you did it right, you'll hear the fuse sound, and you'll see your shield and your sacrifice weapon will now both be side by side with each other like this. If you get this, then you're done with the difficult part. Once that's done, pick up your shield first, and then you're going to fuse your sacrifice weapon to your shield. When you do this fusion, the sacrifice weapon will simply fall to the ground even though it shows the fusion happen. Once this is done, make sure that you don't have any weapons equipped, and then pick up the weapon that fell to the ground. Then you're going to open your shield menu with left on the D-pad and unequip your shield. You'll see that when you do this, it will unequip both your weapon and your shield, but if you open up your weapon menu with right on the D-pad, then you'll be able to see your sacrifice weapon is still equipped. Now open up your inventory and go to your weapons tab, and you're just going to drop whichever weapon it is that you want to duplicate. So since I want to duplicate the light scale trident, I'll just select it and then drop it, then exit out of the inventory, and then we're just going to pick it back up. At this point, if you go into your weapons inventory with right on the D-pad, then you can see that it still shows your sacrifice weapon equipped, but I'm clearly holding the weapon that I'm trying to dupe in my hands. So now for one final time, we're going to drop our sacrifice weapon, and you'll see that instead of the sacrifice weapon, you drop the weapon you're duping, and now you've successfully duped the weapon. I believe you could also do this with a fused weapon, and duplicate whatever was fused to it, then break it down at Tarrytown as well. Now I'll show you how to duplicate a shield and a bow, and I'll actually do both of these at the same time. Drop whatever bow you want to duplicate, and then fuse it to whatever shield you want to duplicate. So I'll fuse a Savage Lionel bow to the Daybreaker shield. Keep in mind though, whatever you're fusing onto the shield is going to lose whatever upgrade stats it has on it. So this time you need a sacrifice shield. I'll use a spiked Boko shield as my sacrifice shield. Then you just need any unfused weapon that you can fuse the shield to. Equip your sacrifice shield, then move your weapon you want to fuse to and range the like with Ultra Hand. Then get fuse out and ready to fuse your weapon to your sacrifice shield while you're out of range of the like and the weapon is in range of the like. Use the same timing as before. When the like targets the weapon, its bulb will come out and pulse 4 times and then it will strike. You want to fuse right as it strikes your weapon. So it will target the weapon, then the bulb will come out, and 1, 2, 3, 4, fuse. Then open your shield menu and drop your shield. Then hold R and up on the D-pad to take out a fire or shock fruit and throw it at the like. Then shoot the bulb with a weak bow. And if you did it right, then the weapon and the shield will appear right next to each other on the ground like this. Now you want to pick up the weapon. Then you're going to equip fuse and fuse the shield onto the weapon. When you fuse the shield onto the weapon, it will drop down behind you like this. And then you're just going to pick up the shield. After this, open up your weapons menu with right on the D-pad, and then unequip your weapon. Then we're going to open up our menu and drop the shield that we want to dupe, which is this shield with a bow fused to it. Then we're going to close our inventory, and we're going to pick up that shield. After that, hold left on the D-pad to open up your shield menu again, and drop your equipped shield. Even though it showed you how to equip the sacrifice shield, you'll drop the shield that you're trying to duplicate. And now we have 2 of those shields with the bows fused to them. Now we just have to take our shields and bows to the Baby Goron in Tarrytown, which is in the east-northeast section of the map. So in relation to Lookout Landing, Tarrytown is over here. And once you're there, just find the baby Goron and talk to him. Choose the option to break it down and then you can get your bows and shields separated. You'll also be able to see that your sacrifice weapons from earlier can be broken down here if you want to get them back for some reason. And just to show you, now I'll have 2 of these Savage Lionel bows and 2 of the Daybreaker shields. Finally, I'll be showing you how to do mid-air throw duplication, which was discovered by Quantum. To do this, you need a ledge to fall off of and 1 of the item that you're trying to duplicate. If you have more than 1 in your inventory, it won't work. So if you have more than 1, you have to either use dispenser storage or drop the excess of your items on the ground while you're duping. That is, until you have a single one of the item you're trying to dupe. I'm going to make my own little ramp out of a cart and a glider so that I can fall off of it and do mid-air throw duplication. I'll show you how to do it with an item that breaks when thrown. Also, make sure that when you're falling, your back isn't too close to any objects or else you won't be able to drop the item, which is necessary for this. It is a little easier if you're falling from higher up too. To do this duplication, get on a ledge, hold R and press up on the D-pad to select whatever you're trying to duplicate, then fall off of the ledge, and in mid-air, while still holding R the whole time, you're going to press up on the D-pad again, and then you're going to drop the item you're duplicating. Even though it shows you have 0, you'll be able to drop it, meaning you duplicated it, and there will be 1 on the ground and 1 still in your hand. If you're doing it with a fragile object that breaks when thrown, throw it up in the air, and then switch to recall. Recall the object, and then grab it out of the air. Since you can only do this when you have 1 single one of the items, just leave all of the excess in the pile and keep repeating this process. Because of the spawned items limit, you can only get 21, but I'll show you how to surpass that as well. So again, hold it, drop in midair, drop the item, then throw the one that's still in your hand. If it's delicate and breaks when thrown, throw it up in the air, recall it to yourself, and then grab it out of midair. You can repeat this process until you have a pile of 21 on the ground. If you need more than 21 of the item, then use dispenser storage as you're doing it, and I'll show you how to do that now. Get 2 fans out and fuse them together. And once they're fused, you're going to take these fans and put them really close to the opening of a zonaite dispenser. Then you're just going to grab any item and drop it into the dispenser. To do this, just select the item and hold it, and then press A in front of the dispenser. Then once this is done, if your fans were close enough, then the door will stay open. You just want to push your fans up inside of the dispenser like this. Make sure to push them as far up as you can. And now whatever things that you're putting in the dispenser are not going to count towards the item limit because they'll be blocked up in the dispenser. So how you're going to use this dispenser storage to your advantage is that as you're duplicating, you'll periodically be putting your items in the dispenser. So right now I have about 10 of the item on the ground that I'm duplicating. I'm just going to pick all of them up and put all of them but 1 into the dispenser. Make sure to keep 1 so you can keep duplicating though. And again, because these will be stuck in the dispenser, they won't count towards the item limit on the ground. I would recommend only having about 10 of the items you're duplicating on the ground at a time. You can have as many as you want in the dispenser, but if you have too many on the ground, then they might despawn your fans or your ramps, which will ruin your hard work. I repeated this process of duping about 10 of the item before I put them in the dispenser, and then continuing duplication, and just kept doing this over and over so I could get more than 21 star fragments. And now I'll show you what to do once you have a bunch of them in the dispenser. So equip recall, and then recall the fans. Then while the fans are moving backwards, you want to get in position so you can start spamming A and picking up all the items as they come out. You still need to make sure that 21 items aren't on the field at a time, because they will start disappearing. These star fragments were actually so big that they got stuck in here, so I had to use Ultra Hand to move them a little bit, and then start spamming A to pick them all up. And here are the results of duplicating and using the dispenser storage. And after I picked all of these up, I ended up with 52 star particles, where this glitch is normally capped at 21 of the items. Anyways, that's it for this video. Enjoy using all of these dupes.